You ready? Okay. Hey guys, it's Alice, and today we're going to be putting together my new skateboard. I'm joined by my assistant here, Apollo, my little buddy. So this is my old skateboard. I've been skating it for almost 12 years, since I was 13. And I felt like it was time to replace it. We've got really rundown wheels with some flat spots forming. This one's bearing completely shattered out of it. So it feels like it's time for a new one. Look at that. Ugh.
Yeah, it's really grody.
So we're going to be building me a new one today. So let's get started with that. So this is a custom board from Board Pushers. The design is done by the same artist that did the banner art for my Twitch, YouTube, and Twitter. Nikki is Board. I'll leave her links down in the description below, so you can go check her out. She's a really cool person, and she does amazing art. And it was put on the skateboard by Board Pusher. They're a website that does custom skateboards that are actually pretty good quality. This is a nice, sturdy board. So we've got our Cloud 9 grip tape here. It looks like it'll fit just so.
Moment of truth.
How is it a moment of truth?
I don't know. I was just doing like one of those videos, like, you know, where they say, moment of truth. When they do an unboxing or...
Now this is a perforated grip tape, so we can expect to see less air bubbles in it. We're still going to do a method that also helps to reduce air bubbles when you put the grip tape originally on, but that should just help out a little bit still.
Yeah.
Now you're just going to lay your grip tape over like this, and my camera assistant will tell me if it's lined up.
It looks pretty lined up. Let's see. Feeling here.
I mean lined up as in like it's parallel with the board so it sits straight.
Yeah, it's very parallel.
All right, you just want to lay it over like that to get it nice, and then you want to slap it down from the middle. Make sure there's no air bubbles in your grip tape. Get it nice and patted down. And make sure it looks something like that.
Just like that.
Now we need to grab our skate tool. I have just a base skate tool. You can get a more professional one than this, but it has this texture on the stock here that can be used. You want to sand around the board on the grip tape. And then once it's nice and loose there, you basically want to rub it down until it's just down to the adhesive on the edges. That way you can take a razor blade around, and we'll do that in a minute. But right now let's hit the edges. You can see we start to get that skateboard shape outline here.
Is that pushed in all the way?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it is. This grip tape's just really stiff. We can fix that after we're done cutting it.
Cool.
And don't worry about getting it perfect, because after you do the razor blade, you can go back and fix any spots that look a bit rough. And then when you're done, just get the little bit of grip dust off of there. Now we're going to use a razor blade to cut the non-skateboard deck parts off. Now, if you're a kid, first of all, why the hell are you watching my videos? Get the fuck out of here. But also, if you are a kid, make sure to get your parents to help you with the razor blade. Because they're adults, and they're better at this, and you could hurt yourself. So we're going to make some 4 incision cuts in the corners, right here, 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 and over here on the corners of our deck. Don't do what I'm doing. This is stupid. I'm putting my fingers directly in front of a razor blade. Don't do that. I'm a professional. Don't listen to me. Now, you want to get a nice grip on your board, something like this. And I know it's probably counterintuitive to cut towards yourself, but this is actually the best way to do this. And you just want to get a nice cut across the deck. There we go. You just want to get rid of that. Now these end pieces, these curved pieces, which mine didn't file very well. They didn't file very well because this grip tape is a bit old. I've been waiting on this project for a while. The grip tape got stiff. But now that I've made the corner slits, I can get a little bit of a better angle on them. So let's go back to, cut my callus off my finger. Useful. There we go. See, it cuts a lot better now. That's why you want to file down the edges. It's going to make it a lot better for your razor blade to cut through. Now these end curving pieces, don't throw away the grip tape off this, because you're going to need it later in your build. You're going to need this piece. So set it somewhere where you won't lose it. Make sure your grip tape doesn't re-stick down, because you're going to miss chunks with the razor blade. Like I said, kids, get your parents' help, or some sort of adult's help with the razor blade. Don't use razor blades on your own, kids. I'm serious. Mess you up. So, now we're gonna get this side. I realize my blunder wearing a hoodie in this project, but I'm committed now, so look at how smooth that runs. There we go. Last leg of the race. There you go. Now, it's going to look very rough around the edges. That's normal. That's why you keep the curved end pieces. So you're going to take your curved end pieces from the edge of your grip tape, like my Cloud 9 grip tape here. You're going to fold it in half like that. And you're going to go around the outer edge of your board and just sand down those pieces there. And you can see it's already starting to look smoother on the edge there. We're just going to smooth down the grip tape edge with this piece of grip tape. And you just want to get your board to a place where it looks nice and clean around all the edges. This is probably one of the most time-consuming parts of your build. And depending on how much of a perfectionist you are, it can be one of the hardest parts of your build. But just stick with it and get to a board that you like the look of on the edges. If the piece you have starts to wear down on you, grab the other end and fold it in half and do the same thing. Now, I'm not a perfectionist, so I'm going to say that that's good. And our board is gripped. So now we can move on to putting the hardware through and getting the truck set up. Now, you're probably looking at this and thinking one thing. How do you know where the hardware holes go? Because we have our grip tape on. We can't see through grip tape. We're not Superman. We don't got that X-ray vision. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our hardware . We're going to put it in the holes on the bottom. Just rest it in there. Drop the screw because we suck at tiny bags.
I got it.
There we go. So now that our hardware is all in the holes here, now you're going to take your trucks. These used to be Silver Thunder trucks. They were just plain silver colored. I actually spray painted them pink. So you're going to take your truck and you're just gonna smack them through. And you see that? Don't worry too much about these. You can just take your razor blade, which is right down here. You can just take your razor blade and cut off any little flaps that come out, like this guy. I would suggest, to make your life easier, as I'm just realizing, to probably do that before you push it through. But they say hindsight is 20/20. And it's that simple. It shows you where your holes are. This one got a little bit out of control, but it happens sometimes. You're going to have that happen. So now that you have the holes where you need them to be, we're going to take one of our riser pads right here. This is to reduce the amount of wheel bite on your deck to as little as possible. Essentially making it so that you can prevent your wheels from hitting the deck of your board and causing you to fall after tricks. So now that those holes are there, we can put them in the right way, flip it over, making sure that they stay in the hole. There you go. All your hardware is poking through. Perfect. It's actually really hard to do at this angle. There we go. So you're going to put your riser pad on there. Then you're going to take your truck, if my lovely assistant could hand me my truck.
Paravo.
Take your truck, and you're going to put it bushing in. Now, if you don't know, the bushing is this little squishy part in the middle. That's what allows your skateboard to turn. You want that to be towards the middle of the board. Otherwise, you're going to have a very bad time steering. Now we need our bolts from our thing. If my lovely sim could help me, they're in the bag with the screws over here. Am I right? All right. So we've got our bolts here. You just want to finger tighten those on as much as you can, just to get them started. Try to do each of the diagonals first to take pressure off the center of the plate. But anyone who's built anything before should know that by now. There we go. That should be good for now. We're going to tighten it after we get our other truck on. And then you just do the same thing on the other side. Now that you have both your trucks on, we're going to move on to the next step. And make sure also, this is a good learning ability, make sure your trucks don't go past your deck. You see I chose the perfect size trucks for my deck size. You want them to stay underneath the deck slightly like that. So now what we're going to do is tighten these. So we have our handy dandy power drill. And what you're going to do here is you're going to take your skate tool, right here. You're going to use the little thing on the bottom of the stock, this guy. You're going to put it on the bolt for the truck on this side. And then you're going to put the power drill on this side. And you're going to just slowly screw it in. Make sure it's nice and tight. And then just like before when you were hand tightening it, you want to go on the corners first to relieve pressure in the middle of the plate. There we go. So don't be afraid to go and retighten things. Just make sure not to strip the screw. There we go. And you have a nice tight truck. You want to make sure the truck is super tight to your deck. One way you can tell that is look inside the bolts. And if you can see the hardware peeking through like that, then it's usually tight enough. So now we're going to do it on the other side. Again, products will vary, and make sure you check to see if your hardware is properly synced into the bolt. And once again, no using power drills without your parents, kids. My assistant is getting amused by my PSAs. Looks like my other assistant came to check out the new board. How's it look, buddy? Yeah, it's looking good. He got a bit of grip tape on his paw. We're just going to finish tightening these. There we go. Once again, checking that we can see our hardware peeking through the holes there. We see that green popping through, so it's nice and tight. Now we can deal with our wheels.
Okay.
So we have here some bone Swifts, which are, in my opinion, my favorite skateboard bearing. And we have Formula Force by Spitfire, the Skate Like a Girl Special Edition, which are 99 Duro hardness, 51 millimeter. So yeah, we're gonna use these. So you'll see I have my wheel here and I have 2 bearings. So what you want to do is you want to put these in just a little bit with your fingers, which is sometimes very difficult. Which is sometimes really difficult, apparently. There we go. Just get them a little bit in there. Don't worry, we'll push them farther in, but not with our fingers. Because that would be... You can see how hard it is just to sink them a little bit in there. There we go. Now we're gonna... Actually, we're gonna use our skate tool for that because it's really tight. We're gonna open up this, which should be the medium-sized thing on the side of your skate tool. We're going to determine if we need...
There's 2 washers.
I know. I was determining if I needed the riser pads.
Gotcha.
I don't. So you want to make sure that this goes in between these 2 metal washers here. These are actually going to severely help the health of your bearings over time. But for now, you want to remove them and make sure you keep them super safe and not lose them. Because they're going to be in our way for this next step. So just put them in a safe place where you'll remember they are. I'm giving them to my assistant to hold on to. Now what you want to do is with this open truck here, you want to put a wheel in. And typically, I'm actually going to use the floor for this. Typically, you want to find a nice hard surface to lay your board in primo. Primo means it's sideways like this, so it's sitting on the trucks instead of the wheels at the top. And you want to put your palms on like this and just push down to fully sink that bearing in there. You want to get those bearings nice and in there. There we go. Now you want to put your washers back on. One before the wheel and bearings, then the wheel and bearings, then the other washer, and then our bolt. And then you screw this guy back on using your skate tool, again the medium, to tighten it. Now you want to tighten it all the way so it's super tight. Get it as tight as you can get it. All the way down. It'll be really hard to do, but you just got to keep going. Tighten it down as far as it goes. And what this is going to do is it's going to force the bearing the rest of the way into the wheel where it's supposed to be. There we go. And then you want to loosen it up a little bit. Now that we use the bolt to push the bearing all the way down, you don't want it super tight because that won't let the wheel spin. So once you're done tightening it to get the bearing down in there, you want to loosen it a little bit. More than that. Just loosen it until you get a nice spin on the wheel. I'm just going to go a little bit farther with that. Maybe too loose. There we go. And you can see you get a nice spin off those fresh bearings in your wheel. And there you go. Now we'll just do it for the other three. The other three. Shut up. Apollo, buddy.
Here it is.
Skateboard assistant. Come here. Hi. You want to say hi to the people? Everyone say hi, Apollo. He's my little skateboard helper today, huh? Yep. Mama's building a skateboard and he's my little skateboard helper. All right, there you go. Now you just want to double check that all your wheels spin real nice. And there you go. You have a fully built, ready for the park skateboard.
Look at that beauty.
Now, you will have to use the large part of your skate tool to tighten or loosen your bushings to however you feel comfortable steering. So, turning with a skateboard, the tighter this is, the less turn you're going to get. So find a comfort level that you like with your bushings and set them up. Those actually feel pretty good to me right now, the way they are. So I started skating at 13 with this board. And it's carried me through a lot. It's a very old board. It's lived a good life. And now it feels really good to finally replace it with a board that I built myself that looks really good in my opinion. So thank you so much for watching. If you like this, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Check out the Discord and all the other social medias. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.